All right, my friends. We just pressed the Let's Go Live button, which means we got to wait for the stream to fire up all across the fruited plain of the interwebs before we go ahead and get started. Can't get into it unless the tubes are connected. And it looks like we're on over on the YouTubes. We got Telegram booted up. Our friends on Rumble kicking over. Let's see if locals, there it is. That's tremendous news. That means we can go ahead and get started. So let's do it, shall we? Hello, my friends, and welcome back to yet another episode of Watching the Watchers Live, the show that spotlights misconduct involving police, prosecutors, and politicians. My name is Robert Gouveia. I am a criminal defense attorney, and today we are talking about the feds raiding and ransacking Mar-a-Lago, Barron Trump's bedroom, and Melania's as well, going through Melania's drawers, FBI agents snapping photographs all over the place. We've got some wild documents we're about to go through. I don't know about you, but the idea of some disgusting federal agents rummaging through my wife's bedroom kind of makes my blood boil a little bit. So we'll see if we can keep things under level 10 today. But we're going to start there, of course. We've got the inventory of the photographs. So there's a photographic log of all the feds walking in, taking photos. And we're going to go through it to see exactly what they were doing because these were just unsealed in the Florida classified documents case. It's wild stuff. So we'll see what is happening there. Trump says this is lethal force. Deadly force. They were authorized to use this. And there's a little bit of debate out there saying, well, you know, it's just standard operating procedure. They just put this in every form. Okay, well, that might be true. How many times do they raid presidents? And how many times do they deal with other issues like presidential immunity, which we're going to make the argument would immunize him from a raid. So we'll come back to that here in a bit. FBI responded to this, just, well, he's just a regular criminal, so he can just do it, you know, he can just deal with it. And we'll break this down, how insane this whole thing is, because there's more. We'll go through the operations order, the law enforcement operations order. This is the plan. This is their little manual. They read, oh, here's what we're going to do. And they read through it. And in there, there's the standard use of force policy. When is deadly force? When is this allowed? And there's some contingencies in there. And what happens if Trump says, no, you're not coming in, deal with it? What happens if something like that were to happen? Maybe it'll happen next time, now that we know we live in a country where current administrations raid the outgoing administrations. So we'll see what is inside that exhibit. And then we'll spend our time going through the motion to dismiss, which is referencing those prior two exhibits. So we'll see what they're talking about. And then we'll see how the motion, which is asking for a dismissal of the entire case in Florida, what it looks like inside. So very excited to get into these. These are juicy filings, and Jack Smith is not happy about it. They brought James Comey out. You know, Trump's attacking the FBI, and Trump is coming. He's going to end democracy in America. Of course, they brought this guy out as usual, the same guy who changed the statute in his memo in order to exonerate Hillary Clinton when she was deleting her emails, you know, like with a cloth. So we'll go through him and see what he says in this ridiculous story. Of course, the Fed snapping photos of Melania's bedroom. And we were joking about that some time ago. Like they were rummaging through her bedroom, her closet. Well, turns out it's true. So, of course, you know the Feds. You just know it. They can't deny it. All right, so we got that. Then we're going to change gears. We'll see what's happening in New York. We have an official complaint that's been filed by Congresswoman Representative Elise Stefanik. And my understanding is she's a little bit sick today. She didn't show up for the Republican House Committee briefing today. It's on C-SPAN. We were watching it this morning on Locals, and she wasn't there. They said she was a little sick, so hopefully she's feeling better. So she came out and dropped an official judicial ethics complaint. Of course, she's from New York, and so this one is coming in hot. We'll see what she says about this. She's dropping them. A lot of problems in New York, and she's one congresswoman who's actually doing something about it, so that's good. We'll also see what AOC had to say, because she is revealing what's ultimately happening here. She says Trump basically has a legal ankle bracelet wrapped around his boots, and so he can't go anywhere, which of course is their entire strategy. And then lastly, we've got a reunion in the House Big news, Fani Willis won her Democratic primary there in Georgia. The voters of Fulton County just love her. They want more Fani Willis, baby. They got a fever, and the only prescription is Big Fani. So they're excited about having her back. Democrats voting overwhelmingly. She's a victim of abuse and whatever. Racism, okay. So turns out Nathan Wade showed up after she won. Look at him, man. He's as happy as can be. Wow. He's like, hey, baby. What's going on? Nathan's Hot Dogs back in-house. DoorDash delivery for Big Fani. I wonder if we'll give her a call tonight at 4 in the morning. So we'll go through this. There was a couple photographs that came out. They're just totally flaunting the whole thing. It's perfect. This is what our country looks like now. And Nathan Wade was there. You see a couple photographs of him. Fox News was reporting. And Fani and Nathan have now been giving interviews, probably in preparation for their new book tour that'll be coming out about this terrible saga that they've gone through. So we'll clip through some of that and see what they say. Nathan Wade had an interview, and Fani was on with Rachel Maddow as well. So they're out there just having a great time, like nothing even happened, vindicated against this onslaught, even though well, I guess Nathan Wade's great. He's abandoned his wife and kids now. He's now in Fanny land. He's got 700 grand somewhere tucked away, stashed away from his work, whatever he did. So we've got some good segments to get to, my friends. I'm grateful that you are here and with us. This morning, we had a great members only stream. If you join us as a member on YouTube or on Locals, you would have been there this morning when we talked about what's going on in Arizona. We had arraignments yesterday. Rudy Giuliani got served his birthday. Chris Mays, our attorney general, was on with Caitlin Collins, having a little bit of a weird high school kind of girl-child thing where they're talking about Rudy. Caitlin Collins was like, did Rudy get upset when you served him? And she's like, well, now that you mention it, my investigators, and she gives us this whole explanation, like, did he have tears in his eyes? Weird people. They just sit around talking about stuff like that. It's like, get a real job. All right, so that's Chris Mays. Now that was this morning for Membos. We'll get a segment out on that on the tubes later, but we're grateful for our Membos. We appreciate those who support us and join us when we get into stuff in the morning, whether you're on YouTube or on Locals. Now, we got some good stuff to get into today. Before we do, you may have seen this story about this bird flu. This one released today, and it's from the CDC. You can see they just put this risk assessment out here. Not good for immediate release. Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. CDC reports second human case of the H5 bird flu tied to a dairy cow outbreak. Oh, man. It's not good. Human case of this avian influenza is now floating around in the state of Michigan. Oh, good. Maybe Governor Whitmer can lock them down and then change the election rules again. All right, so we know this stuff's coming up. Of course, you know what we're talking about here. Our friends at the Wellness Center have a prescription medical kit that will help you get prepared. We need to have this stuff on hand. This is the only kit of its kind. It comes from the Wellness Company. They've got a various assortment of good stuff inside that will help with other sorts of illnesses. You never know what's going to pop up. So respiratory illnesses, it's got things like ivermectin in there, hydroxychloroquine, other things, a nebulizer. So you can get it, rest easy knowing you've got the meds on hand in case we need them. It's backed by research from people like Dr. Peter McCullough. You know who he is, and every American should have at least one of these kits on hand. Your boy does right here. Shout out to our friends at the Wellness Company. You can get your kit, twc.health/Robert, and you can use code Robert when you get over there. Save and get free shipping when you use code Robert. Very easy to do it. I've done it. I hope you do too. Kits are only available in the USA. twc.health/Robert and use code Robert when you check out. And thanks for getting prepared, and thanks for supporting our sponsors, my friends. All right. And so without any further ado, it is time to get into business. The disgusting feds have now released documents that detail what they did when they raided Trump's residence and his office at Mar-a-Lago. And we're going to go inside and see what the photographer did when he was meandering around through Barron Trump's bedroom and Melania's as well, various closets into the president's rooms, and also everywhere else they could get their hands on in Mar-a-Lago. We're going to see what the actual documents show they did. Now, Trump came out and he said, wow, the day after or the minutes after he came out of trial in New York, he said, wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox. And I was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ, in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, authorized the FBI to use deadly, parentheses, lethal force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. Time to invoke the 25th Amendment, says the president. And a lot of people out there saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. Deadly force, lethal force. This is just a standard raid. This is just a regular old processing of some crime. A judge like Judge Reinhardt in Florida reviewed the FBI's affidavit. Some special agent wrote a big piece of garbage out. Trump's violating the law. And the judge said, yes, I think so too. And then slapped it on there. And they conducted an unprecedented raid, an incoming administration raiding an outgoing administration for the first time in American history. And so a bunch of people, including the FBI, are saying it's all just standard business. Okay, stop making so much ado about nothing. This is on every single form. We have deadly force used all over the place. Really? Do you have other raids where you're raiding Secret Service agents protecting the president who might have immunity, who might have such strong immunity that it protects his documents in his property? We'll come back to that. But this, of course, is what the FBI said in response. They said, oh no, Trump's just a regular old criminal. Here they posted, they said, the FBI followed standard protocol in this search, as we do for all search warrants, which includes a standard policy statement limiting the use of deadly force in case they get attacked or something. Now, no one ordered additional steps to be taken, and there was no departure from the norm in this matter. And that's the point. This is not the norm. This is anything but the norm. So a departure from the norm would have been appropriate so that you could balance the powers that exist here. But the problem is, if they would do that, if they would actually think this one step further, they wouldn't raid them. They would recognize what this does to the entire system. It creates an environment where one administration raids the other. And if they thought logically, like every other administration has, up until here, 234 years of unbroken non-raid policies, they just treated it like a normal case. Every other person treated it like an abnormal case. They didn't prosecute their prior administrations with raids. So they now say like this is regular justice so that it gives them an excuse to then do whatever they want. Where there should have been special consideration because we have democratic norms that preserve and prevent, theoretically, until today, the weaponization of one administration against another. So in other words, the FBI is admitting that no one ordered additional steps. You should have. That's where you guys fell below the standard of care. That's where your improprieties are. You should have thought about it. But if you would have thought about it, you wouldn't have been able to do the raid, so we know why you didn't think about it. So that's the FBI. Now, I want to pause on this. Now, there's a big problem here because people will say that standard protocol allows them to do what they've done. And we'll just game out a theory here about what happens if Trump says no. So we're going to read it into this. Here is what they actually went and did. Let's just, before we say, what happens if Trump says, you don't come in and do this on my property? Let's see what they've done. And if you're ready to have your blood boiling, now's the time to go, because here we are. This is the raid photographic log. And they break this up into two positions. You can see this is dated August 8th, 2022, the date of the raid. Photographs taken at Mar-a-Lago. This is the ERT photographic log, the evidence retention team. They come in, grab all this material, and they're taking some photos. Now, this portion of this log is from Trump's office, 45 office. On the day of the raid, you see where it is. The photographer for the FBI, some special agent, used a Nikon D780 to take these photographs. And let's theorize on how this is going down. Okay, there you have a photograph, you have a camera, you're walking through Mar-a-Lago, you're an FBI agent, you're taking pictures of all this stuff. So what he does here with his first photo is he takes photo number one, he takes a picture of the photo log, empty photo log, or whatever he's taking a picture of. Now, we don't have the photo, so we can't really see. But then he's entering the premises. So he's entering the premises. You see all these are checked entry. He's checking Take photo, stairwell to Trump's office, another stairwell, walking in, click, stairwell, click, stairwell, click. Now he walks up the stairs. Entry from the doorway, click. Another one, doorway, right photo, chick, ching, chick, chick, click, 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 capturing them as they're walking away. Now here's a photograph from the office. Here's the bathroom next to the 45 office secretary. And then they're walking around taking pictures of all these photos of all these different rooms. Rooms E, room C, room C. Then we're zooming in. So in these various locations, item 1 and 1A locations. So items, now we're taking photographs of close-up of various items splayed out somewhere. Looks like the exposure, he's sort of taking them far away, taking the same thing closer, taking the same thing very close. So he's photographing far, click, click, click. Zooming in. We continue that pattern. We have this coming on. We have some photographs taken from room F. These are post-taint searches. And then he's continuing on. Item 2 and item 3. Okay, so item number 2 now, he's sort of indexing these away. So I took 4 photos of item 2. I took a wide exposure, close, and then a couple close-ups. Same thing here. Item 3 location. Looks like he's taking multiple photographs of the same thing. Here's another item. Item 3, item 2A. He's got a photograph with a scale, so maybe he puts a cell phone next to it or a card or something. His business card next to it. We have drawer, item 4. So 3 photographs of item 4. We have a bin, more photographs, long exposure, medium, and close. Same thing, you see the same pattern. So item 7, another photograph with a scale. Room F is a safe. Not a lot of interesting stuff here. They're going to various rooms in Trump's office. And again, they're exiting, taking photographs, and various photos of the rooms. 4th floor door, that's the inventory. Now that's at the office of the president. So now these disgusting federal agents then turn around and they go over to Trump's residence. This is the Mar-a-Lago residence. And these are now people who've gotten a so-called warrant from a judge and got permission to go do this, to rummage through the private residence of Trump, Melania, Barron, the rest of the family. Again, they walk in, they're taking photographs, front door entry. They go into the foyer entrance, beautiful big foyer, the best foyer you've ever seen. That's why there's multiple photos. The bedrooms also have their own foyers. So they go inside there, they're taking photographs. Now inside, suddenly they see Melania's bedroom. Bunch of FBI agents say, oh, perfect. We've hit the jackpot. Former First Lady master bedroom suite. They burst the door in, start snapping photos. Click, 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 click. Click, click, click. Melania's bedroom. Oh, perfect. I wonder what she has over here. Let me take a picture. Picture of this one. Master bedroom suite. Former First Lady. Full pages of photographs of her private residence bedroom. Bunch of feds running around taking photos. Former First Lady bedroom, all of these, every one of these, multiple photographs. Now, the fact that they're FBI agents doesn't make this not disgusting. It's disgusting. It's like someone's robbing you. Would you like somebody off the street coming around and rummaging through your bedroom without your permission? Of course not. They do it under color of law, and they say they're doing it in an impartial manner to preserve our classified documents problem or some garbage. It's all not true. It's all fake. If they were really concerned about this, they would have done the same thing with Joe Biden, and they could have gone through Hunter's crack house and taken photos of his crack room. But they didn't do that. They only do this to one side because they're disgusting. So then they go into Trump's bedroom suite. So they're taking pictures of his bedroom. And of course, if you're the man of the household, you say, whatever, man, you can go through my crap. That's fine. I don't care. But don't you touch my wife's stuff. And I'm not even married. Former president's bedroom. Now they come off the closet, off the bedroom foyer. They go back into Melania's room. They're taking more photographs. Entry binder from the former First Lady's bedroom. Another, more photos of the binder, taking photos, her private stuff. A whole just disgusting photograph. FBI agents, oh, take a picture for pages. Then they snap photos going up into the lower level of the residence. They go into the hall of the lower residence. They go into the hallway lower level. They're taking photos there. They go into the air conditioning closet. And then lo and behold, they arrive in Barron's bedroom. And they take photographs of his bedroom because Barron Trump might have some classified documents in there that maybe he's trying to sell to the Saudis. So more photos are taken, snapping that one, 97, 98, 99. Child's bedroom suite, lower level. They just keep going, more photos. What's Barron got in here? What else can we use? They go into the hallway after they've ransacked his room. They take photographs of the gym closet off the hallway, photos there. They go into the kitchen. More photos in the hallways, the office, the stairway. Then they're into the master closet. I don't know if that's Trump's closet or Melania's closet. Maybe they share a closet. Probably do. Maybe their bedrooms adjoin. And so they're rummaging through their closets as well. Master closet. They go back into Barron's room. Child's bedroom suite at the lower level. Back into the gym again. And now they're exiting. So they're taking photographs. And so they're exiting here. Same stuff. Former First Lady master bedroom suite. A whole nother slew of photos. 176, 77, 78. The raid continues. And they exit out the foyer, back out the entrance, and then front door, exterior to the residence, and they're done. 200 photos of them ransacking and invading the residence of a former president and first lady and first son in America. It's wild times that this is happening. And of course, there was no raid of Hunter Biden's bedroom when he had access to Joe Biden's garage. He's being charged with crimes right now. Are they going to raid his bedroom now? Are they going to go investigate him now? He's got multiple criminal charges pending. Melania doesn't. Barron doesn't. Maybe there'll be a new raid. So these people are sick. Now, obviously, this causes some concern, because there's a problem that might happen if Trump decides or some other president decides that this is not going to happen again. And they are, in my opinion, probably justified, not probably, I would say justified to prevent it from happening again. And let me explain what I mean here in a second. This was the operations order that has been released now out of the Florida case. And you'll see this came out as exhibit number 3. They're concerned about the mishandling of classified documents, so they need an entire operations order to go and address this. They say the FBI Washington field office and other agents will effect a search of the designated locations at Mar-a-Lago to locate and seize the classified information. The NDI, the National Defense Information, oh no, and the U.S. government records is described as captioned in the search warrant. So here is their plan. As you see, we go through this. This is their mission from the feds, writing their little book report for how they're going to raid their political opponents. Lots of empty space, just like their brains. And as you'll see, they're going to name all of the enforcement agents who are involved in this. Now, here is the plan summary from the feds. On the raid, they tell us, this is how it will happen. The DOJ and the FBI will contact Trump's lawyers on August 8th, the day of the raid, to notify them of the search warrant and request collaboration and assistance. Now, after a reasonable time period, we ask ourselves, what does that mean? What does reasonable mean there? The FBI and the Washington and teams will execute the search warrant with the case team, the filter team, and the Secret Service representatives as deemed necessary. And this execution will require the coordination with the Secret Service and may include coordination with guest services in Mar-a-Lago to ensure a fulsome understanding of spaces occupied as designated in the search warrant. They give us their plan. Friday, 8/5, they're going to have a brief, ops brief, 10 a.m. via Teams, I guess on Microsoft. They're going to have an internal FBI brief, so all these lunatic feds are all just sitting around having their picnics about how they're going to raid their political opponents on Friday. Then on Sunday, just like you see in the movies, they're all sitting around their table. Washington field office team travels to MM via commercial carrier. All case and filter team on standby for the Monday execution. Monday hits. Plan is the DOJ and the FBI will contact Mr. So-and-so. Locations to be searched will be safeguarded by the FBI at the time of this call. The search warrant execution will occur at or around 9 a.m. Routine updates to the FBI via command element. Evidence will be secured overnight. Designated couriers will maintain positive control of evidence throughout the search. And then on Tuesday, we'll carry on. Couriers will maintain positive control of all evidence. Then we're going to pick up this evidence at Fort Lauderdale Airport at 9:30 a.m. We'll have staging at Reagan National Airport to retrieve evidence and personnel. And we'll have a bunch of specific duties. Teams will notify partnering agencies. These case teams will be briefed prior to departure. FBI will request CCTV camera footage. And look at this. They're going to ask that the CCTV be disabled during the search. All part of the plan. So as they're raiding Melania's bedroom and ransacking her drawers, they are turning off the cameras so they cannot be held accountable for it. A Ryder box truck and unmarked vehicles will be on standby to transport it. The ERT photographers will take entry photographs and the rooms to be searched. We went through that. The WF case team will lead this work. The search team will locate and seize the boxes. Once located, the boxes will be photographed. They'll be removed from the premises and loaded onto the box truck. Now, at least one designated search team will remain. Once the premises are complete, the documents will be manned appropriately. And there's some problems that happen here. I mean, this is pretty light. Remember, there are problems with how the boxes were inventoried. They got moved around. Stuff was shuffled around inside. And we have placeholders that don't match the inventory. So, they're shuffling the boxes around. They should have been essentially frozen in time. Boxes will be transported for temporary storage. The boxes and documents will be moved. And we can accommodate 100 banker boxes. The personnel will then transport them, and then we'll move them afterwards. Now, in order to execute this, we are coming upon this policy statement that is concerning. Included here are instructions common to all. Coordination with the following will be executed as described above. They're going to talk to the U.S. Secret Service and other law enforcement agencies as deemed necessary. They're also going to talk to Mar-a-Lago security staff. Execution occurs during off-season date range. The Southern District of Florida attorneys, probably that person. The DOJ CES persons, this person, they're going to be on standby for the raid. Now, here's this little form box that they included right here. And many people are saying this is just standard language that goes on every form, and I don't care if it is. This is not a standard case. Law enforcement officers of the DOJ may use deadly force only when necessary. So they're allowed to use it, but only when necessary. That is, when the officer has a reasonable belief that the subject of such force poses an imminent danger of death or serious physical injury to the officer or to another person. And so my question, of course, is what kind of standard is that? Is this like the Ashley Babbitt standard? Was she in imminent danger of death or serious physical injury? She was causing that danger? Well, yeah, they said, yeah, she was. She got shot dead. So I wonder if it's something like that would be their low standard. But the point is, we have a major conflict here. They put some limitations on this. They say, yeah, deadly force may not be used to prevent the escape of a fleeing suspect. Sure. Firearms may not be used to stop moving vehicles. It's not Hollywood. If feasible, don't increase the danger. Try to warn them before you shoot them. Warning shots are not permitted. Officers will be trained in alternative methods. Deadly force should not be used against persons whose actions are a sole threat to themselves. Officers should seek to gain voluntary compliance before using force if feasible, and if doing so would not increase the danger to them. Officers must prevent or stop as appropriate another officer from engaging in excessive force, and officers must render medical aid as appropriate. And now, this is alleged to be something that is on every single search warrant form. And you cannot read anything into this because it's just copy and paste template garbage, which is the biggest cop-out I've ever heard. First of all, in my opinion, these federal agents, Jay Bratt and Jack Smith, they would have loved to execute this portion of their policy. If Trump or anybody at Mar-a-Lago would have put up a fight and said, no. We don't let you come in here. This is the president. This is a former president who has presidential immunity. We'll come back to that. You don't come onto this property. So get bent. If they would have said that, what would this next level of conflict be? Remember, they said that they were going to wait just a reasonable amount of time in order to move forward on this. After a reasonable time period, you're then going to execute the search warrant. What if they said, no, we're not allowing you to come on this property? What would have happened? And you might say, well, that's ridiculous. How can presidential immunity apply to the president in a situation like this? Well, the answer is we don't know yet. And so we can follow the bouncing ball, as we always do. If Trump has presidential immunity for his official acts, then he can make a decision. One of his decisions was to take the documents out of the White House to Mar-a-Lago, immunized. In order to take those documents, he has to be in possession of them, so that possession would be immunized because of his immunity, which extends over. If your immunity just evaporates suddenly, then it isn't immunity. So Trump has immunity over the possession, and in order to have meaningful possession, Trump needs to secure the premises in order to house those documents. Just like in order to have free speech, you have to be able to actually speak. So Trump has immunity over the possession of the documents and the right to protect those with immunity protections, meaning he is immune from even the process. That's what immunity is. It doesn't mean he has to then go turn around and challenge it in court. What we're seeing here with this immunity concern is Trump is being prosecuted by Judge Chutkan or by Jack Smith in Judge Chutkan's courtroom. The immunity defense has paused that entire case because Trump is arguing he is immune from the process. Supreme Court's going to weigh in on that and tell us what the truth is. But when they executed this raid, they didn't know what the truth was. They didn't know anything about this, and they didn't know, or maybe they knew and were expecting Trump to put up a fight, but Trump didn't, that Trump could say there is immunity over this entire ordeal. And you can think of this almost like an embassy, like Trump is sovereign from the prior administration. Why would we want that to happen in our country? So we don't have presidents raiding other presidents. You're immune from your decisions of the prior administration. You're immune from those decisions. So when you leave, you don't get attacked by lunatics like Joe Biden and Jack Smith, enabled by the entire DNC. So if that is the case, and let's say Trump says they're my documents from my administration, I have immunity over them, I have lawful right to protect myself and my property against an invading, anti-democratic, incoming tyrannical administration. What if I actually do defend myself this time? What if now Trump arms up Mar-a-Lago and the feds come in and the Secret Service now is put in a position where Trump says, I am not giving these documents up and my armed security will now defend against the feds? What does Secret Service do? So that's the type of position that we're getting in. So here are the contingencies that they're talking about. Should media be present at Mar-a-Lago, all personnel will refer to the MMOSC and adhere to the media policy, should Trump arrive at Mar-a-Lago, then we will be prepared to engage with Trump and the U.S. Secret Service security team. Now, should the Secret Service, in this hypothetical, provide resistance or interference with the FBI timeline or accesses, the FBI will engage with Redacted, and Redacted will engage with the Secret Service per existing liaison relationships, probably going up the chain of command. So should the guest reception be unwilling to provide a list of occupied guest rooms, the FBI search team will knock on each guest door to determine the occupation status. They'll request a map, list of rooms, skeleton key cards, and etc. They also got standard issue weapons, ammo, handcuff, badges in case they needed to shoot somebody and use lethal force, classified courier bags, and a bunch of other things. They came with food and water, undercover business attire, and this is the rest of the document. So they are, they would have absolutely loved to have something pop off here, and they didn't have that happen, but they were preparing and approving their people to engage in that if it was necessary. They raided the residence of the president and the first lady and the son. They have not done anything in comparable fashion to Joe Biden or his kids or his wife or anybody else related to him. And he had the same possession of classified documents as Trump. And he was not the president at the time with any immunity powers at all. You can see everything they went through there in Mar-a-Lago. They got the safe, they got the photos, they searched Mar-a-Lago, premises concluded, photographs, CCTV activated at some point at 10:13. Insane times. So it'll make your blood boil. Of course, it makes my blood boil. Now, as we go through this, let's see what the actual filing says. So we have the exhibits. Those were just the exhibits. But now let's see what the actual motion says. So this is from Trump's defense. Now known, they say, this is ridiculous. This is our motion for relief relating to the raid and the piercing of the attorney-client privilege. Trump's defense writes the following. We say here, all right, Your Honor, Judge Cannon, Florida, classified documents case. President Trump hereby respectfully submits this motion to suppress the evidence that was seized as a result of Jack Smith and Joe Biden's unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago. On August 8th, armed FBI agents stormed the private residence of the former president. What was unthinkable with respect to President Clinton's recordings and deemed unwarranted with respect to Hillary Clinton's destruction of evidence was determined to be appropriate here for Joe Biden's enemy. This was personally authorized by Merrick Garland. It was supported over FBI objections by DOJ leadership, who said that they don't give a damn about the optics of these steps. We know the raid was unconstitutional. They give us some background. In August 2022, the FBI did not believe that it was necessary to raid Mar-a-Lago. In August 1, in an email, Special Agent FBI 19 wrote that the DOJ and the FBI would respectfully request Trump's cooperation to do a, quote, consensual search. But according to Stephen D'Antuono, who was the assistant director in charge of the FBI, he said the FBI's preferences in, quote, dealing with cases like this was to seek consent from this person. Now, he firmly believed that the best scenario would have been consent for the FBI and for the country. But D'Antuono took the position in emails that were written back and forth but have not been produced. Now, the DOJ and the FBI seems like they were debating this issue. In fact, there was a meeting at FBI HQ. There was a search warrant discussion meeting. On August 3rd, Deputy Assistant Attorney General George Toscas and Jay Bratt participated in a follow-up call about this search warrant. According to the email about the call, Toscas stated, he said, frankly, I don't give a damn about the optics of the raid. The group discussed how Bratt had already built an antagonistic relationship with Trump's attorney. And ultimately, Merrick Garland personally approved the raid. So then on August 5th, Special Agent FBI submitted an application for the search warrant. The affidavit in support of the warrant claimed inaccurately, lied, that an investigation began as a result of a referral from NARA, the National Archives, the head librarians of our whole country. So NARA referred it to the FBI, and the FBI opened up a criminal investigation, but only after NARA complained. In fact, special agent from the FBI specified the following locations where witnesses said that there were boxes. We see where those are: the office, Pine Hall, entryway, and so on. So then they got the warrant. The warrant was described by the special agent. It's called it a mansion with 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms, 17-acre estate, Trump's office, and many things. Many areas to be searched. We know where they went. But then there was an illegal raid. We already looked through the operations order. They said the FBI believed its objective was to seize classified information. And the order also contained a use of deadly force, which stated that law enforcement officers may use deadly force when necessary. Now, the agents planned to bring standard issue weapons and ammo and handcuffs. They also wanted to bring in medium and large size bolt cutters. They were instructed to be undercover and to stay concealed. Now, the raid began 9 a.m. August 8th. Agents did not leave Mar-a-Lago until 6:40 p.m. that evening, scrounging around in Melania's bedroom. The roving and highly inappropriate search covered, for example, a gym, a kitchen, former First Lady master bedroom suite, and child's bedroom suite used by Barron. The only places in which the agents allegedly found the documents were in the storage room, Trump's office, and rooms adjacent to the office. Now, from those areas, the agents seized 45 items that they said mattered. But there were serious misrepresentations in their search warrant, Your Honor, and that's why this case needs to be thrown out. The Fourth Amendment has a particularity requirement. You just can't say, we're going to go search your stuff. What stuff, where, when, what are you looking for? Now, they say the raid was unconstitutional. This agent misled the judge. He tried to get this warrant. He put in lies in there. The warrant lacked particularity. They didn't tell us what they were trying to get, and there's no good faith exception for any of this. So we need a hearing on this. Why? We have 4 problems. First, the agent failed to disclose that the FBI had taken the position in writing, apparently, that it was not necessary to execute a search warrant. They never told the judge, we can do this a different way. We don't absolutely need this. The FBI's assessment conflicted with the agent's sworn assertion. He said disclosure may have significant and negative impact on the continuing investigation. But no, to the contrary at the time, Steve D'Antonio, who was the agent at the time, believed it was appropriate to seek consent from the search. He said, can we just get permission from them? That's what we did with Hillary Clinton. We sought to obtain digital evidence whenever possible with permission. They didn't do that here. Now, second, the FBI agents also failed to disclose that presidents are not required to obtain clearances, and that sensitive briefings with classified materials had been provided to Trump before and during his presidency. The omissions made it look very bad. Oh my gosh, Trump has bad documents. He doesn't have security clearance. Well, he doesn't need it. He's the president. So they misled the judge. And third, Agent so-and-so also suggested that the FBI had only initiated its investigation after the sham referral from NARA. But no, this misrepresentation is consistent with the indictment. In fact, the FBI was already working with the DOJ before NARA came in. The FBI started this, not NARA. That was just their fake excuse. And fourth, the agent also included the definition of presidential records in his affidavit. But guess what? The case law says Trump controls the presidential records. Now, collectively, these omissions misled the magistrate judge, and he didn't know any better. So he's like, yeah, I hate Trump too. Here you go. Search warrant granted. But even during these proceedings, Jack Smith has said, we had no choice but to get a search warrant. Wrong. That is not true. The intentional and improper nature of this omission is supported by other declarations. Others said that they didn't give a damn about the optics of the raid. Now, the allegations in the affidavit about Trump's intent would have been significantly undercut if they would have said Trump never required a clearance to have these documents, but they hid that from the magistrate. Didn't tell him that NARA had been improperly coordinating with the DOJ and that the Biden administration, that went all the way back to September. They didn't tell the judge that NARA lacked the authority to demand those boxes back and that NARA's referral was improper. And so this was all deliberate and reckless. This was a rotten FBI agent who was trying to establish probable cause in order to get this affidavit done, and they did it. The warrant lacked particularity. Mar-a-Lago's a large property, okay? The agent did not establish a basis for rummaging through the majority of its rooms, including Melania's. In the affidavit, the agent described the property as a 17-acre estate. Now we have access to the whole thing? 58 bedrooms. However, the agent presented boxes in only 6 discrete locations. He pointed out 6 locations in the warrant: 45's office, Trump's residential suite, the storage room, the anteroom, Pine Hall, white and gold ballrooms. And so by its own terms, the warrant conferred extraordinary and improper discretion to the FBI agents. They seized virtually every document at Mar-a-Lago. The warrant authorized the agents to use their judgment, which doesn't exist, to seize all evidence related to the violations, whatever they want. The warrant provided an illustrative types of series of documents, and they got anything on the 17-acre property, anything that caught their eye. 3 items from the warrant's list were especially problematic that they stole. The warrant referred to information regarding retrieval, storage, and transmission of national defense information. Now, as discussed in connection with Trump's vagueness challenge previously, this extremely broad term has posed interpretive problems for more than 100 years. The agent knew that, but he included in his affidavit case law. But whatever assistance those citations may have provided to the judge, and in this prosecution, the cases cited provide no meaningful assistance, the citations were not included in the warrant. Now, because agents participating in the search reviewed the warrant, but not the affidavit, the agents' citations did not mitigate this problem. Now, the warrant also referred to agents and authorized agents to seize documents that they thought were presidential records, but there's no basis for that and what their limiting principles are and what they can and cannot take. And so they could just take everything. It's not particular. Finally, in addition to the impermissible discretion, there were also vague terms like government records and presidential records. So they got anything. They got boxes, they got physical documents, and based on this subparagraphs, they got all containers and boxes. And we remember that because they said the same thing. They said that even if they found a problematic box, they could get the box next to it, the box above it, the box below it, basically everything else inside. The warrant was framed to allow the seizure of almost every book or paper at the premises. Everything. Jack Smith did not articulate any explanation at all. But this whole thing, in addition to being overbroad, was executed with bad faith. They say Jack Smith cannot save this by saying he acted in good faith. No. Trump is seeking evidence bearing on this issue. We've got pending motions to compel, but we already know that there were major problems here. They say without no basis whatsoever, in the affidavit or otherwise, FBI agents searched the private bedrooms of First Lady and President Trump's youngest son, Barron. No basis other than they're perverts. The FBI's photo log demonstrates that the agents took extensive photographs of those 2 rooms, Melania's bedroom 42 and 27 photographs of Barron's room for no apparent reason. Not in the warrant, not a specific location, a location of interest, because they're perverted, privacy-violating monsters. There was no factual basis for the agents to rummage through the rooms not specified in the warrant, and not surprisingly, they seized nothing from these 2 rooms. It's about humiliation. It's about we took pictures of your private residence. It's meant to make you feel ick, and it does. That's our federal government. Nor was there any basis for the FBI to bring firearms into Mar-a-Lago. Now, there were no threats and no risks to agents' safety from their allegations relating to possession of these documents, but the agents appear to have done so. Based on documents, they brought in guns in order to search for alleged contraband they pretended was life-threatening in their gym and their kitchen. Might have some classified documents next to your Cheerios. Now, the government has already acknowledged that, notwithstanding the constitutionally infirm capaciousness of the warrant. Whew, man, that's a mouthful right there. The constitutionally infirm capaciousness of the warrant. It exceeded their scope. The agents improperly seized passports. They got medical documents. They got correspondence related to taxes. They got accounting information. This might have just been Lastly, evidence of politically motivated animus towards President Trump by prosecutors, and everybody else is relevant to this analysis. They tell us some of that evidence has already surfaced, but much more will be disclosed when this comes out. Telling us apparently dissatisfied with the outcome of the raid or concerned with the manner in which it was conducted, Jack Smith's office took extraordinary and unlawful steps to gain access to the privileged communication between Trump and his lawyers. The unconstitutional nature of these efforts is illustrated by the fact they relied on this warrant. There should not have been any crime fraud exception applied to access Trump's private convos. They give us some details. In April 2022, President Trump engaged attorney so-and-so. Now, at the time, attorney blank was also representing Trump. Blank initiated contact with Jay Bratt, the Florida Oompa Loompa, in late April. At the time, NARA and the DOJ was pressuring President Trump to present executive privilege claims. Bratt sent a subpoena to, I think, Christina Bobb, custodian of records, or maybe not her, actually. Maybe. The Trump office subpoena was dated and it was returnable. Now, on May 23rd, so-and-so met with these people at Mar-a-Lago, and they created an audio recording with his impressions of the meeting. In June, this person met again with Trump. Now, after speaking with Trump, they reviewed some documents in the storage room, and they believed the documents were responsive to the subpoena. So then on June 3rd, this attorney again met with Bratt and FBI agents. Many people were there. They talked about 38 documents. During the meeting, Trump spoke to Bratt and agents. Trump went in there voluntarily working with these people. He permitted them to review the storage room. Trump walked in and said, "What's up, FBI agents?" They also created an audio recording of that as well. Now, the Trump organization got a subpoena. So Jay Bratt went and issued a subpoena for the Mar-a-Lago CCTV footage. So remember, the feds went down. They said, "Where are the cameras at?" They said, "Oh, great. We got cameras in there. So now we'll just treat this like a real investigation." Trump thought that they were cooperating like gentlemen. Of course, he didn't realize he's dealing with the deep state. So they come back out. Then they subpoena all the footage. Bratt emailed the subpoena to so-and-so, forwarded it to so-and-so, and then now the investigation's underway. So then special counsel, senior assistant special counsel, Julie Edelstein, also issued a subpoena. They go into the storage room, and then they produced non-privileged documents. Then David Harbach issued a subpoena. And then we went to DC. So you remember this. There's a lot of depth here. But then Jack Smith went into Washington, D.C., filed an ex parte motion with Judge Beryl Howell in the District of Columbia, saying that we need more, and said we got to breach Trump's work and attorney-client privilege. Crime fraud exception allows us to breach your privilege. So then they went and compelled testimony. They say this attorney-client privilege stuff is work product. The crime fraud exception does not apply here. And so Jack Smith has failed to make his case. And so we'll see where this continues. They say they should have gotten access to the residence. They shouldn't have got access to the work product. And so in conclusion, for the foregoing reasons, they say Trump submits the following. What do we do if all the attorney-client privilege material was precluded, if all the information retrieved as a result of the raid is precluded? What happens? They say that we should suppress the evidence seized from the unconstitutional raid. It would ultimately mean the case is dismissed. There would be no evidence. If you got any of this information from Mar-a-Lago, if you got work product, attorney-client privilege material, then you have to dismiss the indictment following a hearing on the result of this battle. So great motion. signed by Todd Blanche and Christopher Keyes. Great filing out of Florida, and a disgusting revelation. We already knew how bad this case was, but now we know that they were rummaging around through Melania's bedroom drawers and Barron's, not in the search warrant, taking dozens of photos because they're the feds. So the FBI is very concerned that Trump might win. Hopefully he does, so he can do something about this. James Comey, the same guy who manipulated the FBI and the DOJ into not indicting Hillary Clinton, is now here pounding the table about Trump. Here's what he sounds like.
Are you concerned that it may get a test unlike any other if Donald Trump is reelected? I mean, when you think about a second Trump administration, what do you think the implications would be for the FBI?
Oh, serious, for the Justice Department and the FBI, because Trump is coming for those institutions. He knows their power, and I think he has regrets that he didn't work hard enough to corrupt them last time. So he's coming for them, and that's a danger for all Americans. He's going to put people in positions in those organizations. He didn't have all-stars the last time. He'll have the bottom of the barrel this time, but people who will want to do his will, and that should worry every American. This election matters. Because of a reason like that, people have to participate. You cannot sit on the sideline.
Oh,
I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden. You must vote for him because the consequences on the other side are too severe.
Wow. He is nervous. And look what they're doing over there on MSNBC, the MAGA Mafia. The MAGA Mafia. Did you see that little stupid graphic back there, right there? So that's James Comey, the guy who weaponized the DOJ and the FBI, rather, to prevent Hillary from being charged, left office, turning them loose on Trump when he came in after he was not able to protect Hillary. Now playing as though Trump is going to do something about the FBI or destroy them. I'm not so sure that's the case, by the way. I don't think Trump is going to do that based on his own statements. So that's not true at all. Even Trump has said he's not going to destroy the FBI. Trump said, we'll build him a new headquarters. So I don't even know what he's talking about, but they're so freaked out that they might lose control of the White House and that maybe something opens up with a new administration that is able to reverse their perversions here. They're sounding nervous to me. So an absolutely infuriating segment there, my friends. My blood was boiling. I don't know if yours was, but to have the feds unnecessarily raid your family's bedrooms because they're coming after you is a sick thing. And of course, that's what we're dealing with. That's Jack Smith. That's who these people are. So let us not forget it. And if you know anybody who might be interested in this information, we'd love it if you invited them to our channel. And we'd love it if you subscribed and liked this video and joined us when we came back here, because we are just getting started. I think Judge Cannon is going to be very upset about this. We might see some judicial action to dispose of this case, but we still have a ways to go on it. So we'll be here covering it. We hope you join us as we do. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for checking out some of our links down in the description below, including our members-only community. Whether you join us on Locals or on YouTube, we'd love to see you. We do members-only streams, and we have a great time. So come check it out. We'll see you back there and back here on the next one. All right, but don't go anywhere, my friends, because we're now going back to New York. And we've got a nice judicial complaint that we are about to go through. Judge Juan the Con Mercan gets hit with a major judicial complaint. This one comes from Representative Elise Stefanik. She is from New York. We know Judge Juan Mercan's in New York. We've been wondering, can he keep getting away with what he's allowing in his trial courtroom? Of course, presiding over the Trump prosecution related to the Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen liars situation. But now Elise Stefanik has released the following. She posted on X, she said, I just filed an official judicial complaint with the New York State Commission on judicial conduct against acting Supreme Court Justice Juan Mercan for his clear violation of the rules of judicial conduct for the New York State Unified Court System due to his family directly enriching itself off this sham trial against President Trump. And of course, we know that his daughter, Lauren Mercan, has made something like $93 million working for Democrats for authentic campaigns. Authentic campaigns. Yeah. Authentic campaigns. representing some of the most inauthentic people in America. Got it. So this is the complaint. Let's see what is inside. Elise Stefanik sent this out explaining why Judge Juan the Con is a corrupt judge. Sent on May 21st from Elise Stefanik to the New York State Commission on Judicial Misconduct. She says, all right, listen, Commission. I am writing to alert you to the conflict of interest involving Juan. Judge Juan currently presides over the criminal case against Trump brought by Bragg. Now, if convicted, Trump faces a maximum of 136 years imprisonment. Moreover, he's the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party for this November election. Now, as such, not only are President Trump's interests at stake, the interests of all Americans are as well. And she explains, now the conflict of interest pertained to Judge's daughter, Lauren. The Judge's daughter is the president of a company called Authentic Campaigns, which is a group that represents Democrat politicians and PACs, saying when President Trump was indicted in April 2023, Adam Schiff Pencilneck from California, one of Miss Lauren Mercon's clients, who's running for the United States, actually sent out a fundraising email requesting $10 donations that stated the following. Pencilneck said this: "It is a somber moment, unprecedented for a former president to be indicted, but his alleged offenses are unprecedented. Trump will respond as he always does, playing the victim and blaming others for having the temerity to investigate him in the first place." Pencilneck, come on. He got censured. Remember, Adam Schiff, every time you see his name, you should, in your own mind, just put a little asterisk right there because he got censured like a total loser. And he lied to all of us about a bunch of things. So he is probably not even responsible for writing that. I bet the judge's daughter wrote that. So in other words, the daddy allows Trump to be indicted in his courtroom, and his daughter now can raise money and make money for her firm. The Senate Majority PAC, also a client of Lauren and Authentic, fired off a similar email. Breaking: Donald Trump indicted by Manhattan grand jury. This is an important moment for our democracy, but our work isn't over. We must continue protecting our Senate majority from GOP extremists. Please send us $10. It becomes $60 to defend the Senate. They're prosecuting people and then fundraising. So since the indictment, Schiff has raised $20 million because Democrats are weird. And the Senate Majority PAC has raised $73 million just to take out their opponents. In other words, the clients of the judge's daughter have raked in nearly $100 million and have used Trump's indictment, a case over which Daddy presides, as a fundraising fodder. It is common sense that if these groups make no money, they cannot afford to pay for services. The more money that's raised, the more it can be spent on services, saying this is a big problem. Section 100.3 E1D3 of the Rules of Judicial Conduct for the New York State Unified System, it dictates that Judge Mercon should not preside over President Trump's case. Under this section, a judge is disqualified from a case when the judge knows that a person known by the judge to be within the 6th degree of relationships has an interest that could be affected by the proceeding. I wonder what the connection is between a father and a daughter. They say if Trump's acquitted, a verdict would benefit him politically and be detrimental to the Democrats. And the Democrats are clients of the judge's daughter in their efforts to defeat him in the courts rather than on the ballot box. But if, on the other hand, he's convicted, then that would be a fundraising windfall for Democrats. Schiff's fundraising email highlighted the unprecedented nature of the indictment. This is nothing compared to the unprecedented nature of a conviction. Now, even U.S. District Court Judge Shira Scheindlin, a retired judge appointed by Clinton, raised concerns about the refusal to recuse. This woman showed up on CNN. She said, the main focus of this motion, as opposed to the previous one a year ago, which the judge denied, is on the daughter's work. This judge said, as you already said, the daughter does work with many, many high-profile Dems. She works on their social media. They put out a post. They get contributions. She, as an owner, gets a percentage of those contributions. So there is a statute in New York that says a judge must disqualify himself if a person known to the judge within 6 degrees has an interest. So the question is here, is the daughter likely to profit or benefit from the outcome of this case? And you have to understand, it's not actual conduct that is worrisome. It's the appearance. It's the appearance to a reasonable person that the judge cannot be fair and impartial given the relationship. So ordinarily, says this judge, I think that a benefit financially would be to a spouse because they share the income. This is an independent adult daughter. They don't share income, but according to this statute, the judge must recuse if she would substantially benefit from the outcome. So that's one thing that concerns me. Yeah. Now, this part is part of a troubling pattern of judicial misconduct by the judge. And indeed, just last Friday, we learned that your office privately cautioned him in July over his illegal political donations to Biden and the Dems. This private caution has not deterred his misconduct. As evidenced by this current complaint, Judge Merchan appears driven by Democratic partisanship and financial gain for his daughter. This caution, as reported by the Times, can be considered in any future cases reviewed by the Commission on Judicial Conduct. So Elise Stefanik wraps it up. She says, it's imperative that New Yorkers and all Americans have confidence that justice is being dispensed fairly in New York. This case is especially true in cases like this. Here, we are in the middle of a presidential election. The circumstances are unprecedented. President Trump, a former president and likely nominee of a major party, is on trial. These proceedings are under a microscope. Merchan's clear conflict of interest, based upon his adult daughter's financial state in this unprecedented criminal trial, has badly damaged this court's appearance of impartiality. And given Judge Merchan's daughter's clientele and the vast sums of money that these individuals have raised, the daughter stands to benefit. She is within 6 degrees. She's the first degree. A straightforward application requires recusal. Merchan declined to do so. So I request that you investigate this conduct and impose whatever discipline is necessary. Signed by Elise Stefanik, representative from New York, over to the Commission on Judicial Conduct. Now, is anything going to happen from this? Unlikely. I think that probably they're supportive of what's happening here. It seems like a very similar situation to what's happening in Georgia with Big Fani and Fannyland. But other people from New York are revealing the truth about what is happening. Steve Cortez clipped this one, says, yep, AOC accidentally says the quiet part out loud. Everything they're trying to do here is shackle Trump while he is supposed to be campaigning. And you know what? It's not working for him. It's actually backfiring pretty badly, as the polls show. But here's AOC.
And by the way, he's doing it in the South Bronx, not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he always has to be in court.
Yeah, thanks to your party and your prosecutors.
And so it is truly an embarrassment to him. And I am looking forward to the response of everyday Bronxites talking about how they feel about him coming to their backyard. And by the way,
we're looking forward to it too. I can't wait for the new Make America Great Again rallies in New York to happen so that people can express their frustration with what's happening in their state. So Judge Merchan finally getting a little bit of pushback for his misconduct. We'll see if the Judicial Commission does anything about it. Of course, we'll hope that you join us as we do. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, wherever it is you're watching this, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one. Okay, we got one final segment on the day, my friends, and we got some interviews to watch together now. So it's coming up. We're going to Fannyland. Here we go. Fani and Wade are back together, reunited at last. It didn't take long. Now that they've been totally exonerated, thanks to Judge McAfee in Georgia, at least until the Court of Appeals has something to say about this, they're enjoying themselves, laughing and gloating. Big Fani won her Democratic primary, so Georgia Fulton Democrats are just in love with her. They've got a fever. The only prescription is bigger Fani than ever. And boy, is that happening there. So you can see Nathan Wade was there. He showed up. He didn't have to worry about his wife and kids because he abandoned them some time ago, cut them off financially, and then had Fani threaten the wife with potential criminal charges when she started getting a little bit irritated about what was going on. But he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. So he showed up as happy as can be. Man, nice looking suit too. $700,000 will help with that. And here is another photo of the two. Now, we have this photo, and we have a lot of Fani experience here. And I'm not sure which Fani we're looking at. I don't know which one's Fani here. But you can take a look and be the own judge on which one of these two is Fani. Probably in the blue, right? I can't tell. All right, anyways. Here's Nathan Wade. He's right there. And you see this photograph? He's pretending like she's not there, right? You know what that look is, his body language. He's like, who? Who? We've all done that. You go to a cocktail party, your ex is there, you know? You're just like, oh, no. Oh, no, I have no idea what's going on. She's, oh, who's here? Who's here? Yeah. Okay. Nathan Wade and Fani, they're not just bumping into each other. He showed up, man. She wanted some hot dogs, and boom, he is there, ready to go. So all smiles. Fox News had some more on this. What was going on in Fani land? All right, was she on the right or on the left? Let's see. Here apparently is part of her speech. Former special prosecutor Nathan Wade was spotted attending the Fani victory party. Willis quickly defeated her Democrat challenger. Willis is seen mingling in the crowd in a blue dress. Okay, she was in the blue. You Fani experts who said blue got it right. Well, consider me shook, says Tamar Hallerman. Wow, photo of Nathan Wade at the event. Life's good for prosecutors in Florida, Georgia. Mayor Andre Dickens was also there. Willis took to the podium later in the event, told supporters that no one is above the law. No one's beneath the law. It's a message that she said is peeing folks off. It's angering folks. She keeps using that P word. It's not a good word. My mom told me not to use that word. But there is no one above the law in this country, nor is there anyone beneath it. Now, they were accused of an improper affair. Of course, Nathan Wade pocketed $700,000. They went on What is this top she's wearing? What is this? Is this from her speech? Here. Man, she must be having some serious Grey Goose. Oh, hang on.
I don't know about y'all, but I love my man. I am just so humbled and so grateful to the citizens of Fulton County.
Hey, Fani, we can't hear you. Hang on, Fani. We can't hear you. Hang on a second. We got to get this properly played.
It's possible. Tonight, they delivered a strong and a powerful message. They want a district attorney that believes everyone deserves to be safe and everyone is entitled to some dignity. And it's a message that's pissed folks off, but there is no one above the law in this country, nor is there anyone beneath it.
Wow. Even Fox News blanked out her Fani potty mouth because it's so inappropriate. There you go, Georgia. Way to go, Fulton County. You guys are outstanding out there. So Fani is back in business, not going anywhere. And she's out talking to the media. We've got Nathan Wade's out talking to the media. Let's listen in and hear what some of these people are saying now that they are victorious and have emerged
ABC News
from this horrific ordeal from MAGA insurrectionists.
Exclusive with former Fulton. He does and
let's give it some color. I defended murders, rapes, armed robbers, molesters, mostly criminal cases that dealt with high stakes, including life. The picture that was being painted that there was no experience is just not an accurate one.
You and Fani meet in 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the extent of your relationship prior to November 1st of 2021?
We met at a judges conference. We stayed professional friends for quite a bit of time thereafter. Started to pick up a little bit when COVID started. We began to spend inordinate amounts of time communicating during the course of the investigation. Nights, weekends, evenings, mornings. I can't tell you how much time that we spent together.
Gross. Okay, so we remember that interview. just to get a little color, as he says, on the topic. But now Fani is out as well. And Fani is now talking with Rachel Maddow.
Let's start by...
And she was out just yesterday talking to Rachel about what she's going to do in Georgia.
Asking you about what your life has been like and how things have changed.
How's it been so hard
over the course of this past year? I know you have bodyguards. I know you had to leave your home because of ongoing threats against you. I saw footage last week at an event honoring the South Fulton police. You got a little bit emotional, thanking the police for having kept you safe in what has been a remarkably threatening environment for you. I wondered what effect the sort of constant threat of violence
Rachel,
that you've been living with has had on you and on your ability to do your work.
Wow, what an amazing question from Rachel. She's so good at this. Rachel Maddow, she comes out like once a week to do her job. And that's the question that we get from her. Hey, Big Fani, tell me how emotional this has been for you and how are you going to recover from this ordeal?
Thank you for asking. Not many people ask about what is the personal journey that's been going on. And it really hasn't been happening in the last year. It's been happening since about a month after I took office. From the time I took office, I began to get threats. Those threats come in the way of emails. Those threats come in the way of phone calls, text messages, any which way you can imagine. At some point, the threats became...
By mail, by fax, other ways too? Do you investigate them? Since you're the DA, have you prosecuted people who have made actual threats? Or are these just like bad comments that you're complaining about?
Where I had to leave my home. And I've been out of my home since the first year in office. They've come from a variety of sources. One of the first things that ever happened was there was a protest at my house at 5 o'clock in the morning. People mad because the last administration had left police cases, lots of them, and they wanted immediate action on them. And so that was the first thing that kind of happened. But the threats have certainly been about lots of different kinds of cases that I prosecuted. People are very unhappy with them because of some recent cases that most of them are racial in nature. It has cost me to leave my home financially. I'm paying for, my mortgage because I refuse to give up the home where I raise my children, but also paying for another establishment. And I have 24-hour really protection around me. So it's a very interesting way to live, but it's well worth it to have the honor of being the first female district attorney in Fulton County. It pales in comparison to what my victims are going through. And the reality is one of the reasons we are upsetting people is we are so successful here in Fulton County. I have the third largest crime drop in America. We have it because we're taking a balanced approach, both unapologetically going after gangs and violent criminals and anyone who should violate the law in my county, but we're also doing programs. And so it has been a huge sacrifice, but it's well worth it for my community.
All right, so they're just living in a whole different reality. Let's see what this one final question is from Rachel.
You did an interview with me earlier in your tenure, and we talked about what it was like to become a national lightning rod and to attract not just all the attention that a district attorney in a big place like Fulton County is always going to get locally for all of the important issues that affect the people of Fulton County, but to become a household name around the country, including by people who decided they were going to make your life hell for having brought one particularly very high-profile case. Do you feel like you've changed over the course of this term in office, over the course of this?
Wow, another great question.
This 4 years in terms of
people watch this show,
having to develop new skills, new resources.
But I can't explain to you how much I love the work that I do. I can't explain to you how loved I feel by my community.
Well, yeah.
You really should feel sorry for those that are trying to deter me from my work. It doesn't do anything but motivate me to continue to work and to work hard. And so I'm not someone that's going to be broken, but certainly it has caused me to get thicker skin or to be more resilient, to dig deeper, to work harder. But what it has not done is deter me from my work.
Let me ask you about...
so these people are just, I guess, playing patty cake on MSNBC. So that's them. They're gloating. Georgia now has Fani for another term, and the success that she's already brought will continue on there. And maybe she'll bring Nathan Wade back at another position. Maybe he'll run security or something else. So she's very happy about it. Of course, why wouldn't she be? She can do whatever she wants all the time with no consequences. We'll see where this Fani saga leads us, my friends. Thank you for subscribing wherever it is you're watching this, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one. All right, my friends. Well, that is going to be it for us on the day. We covered some good ground today. Fani and Wade are back. Judge Merchan gets blasted in a complaint. And really, the disgusting feds raid the residence and the private bedrooms of Melania and Barron with no cause whatsoever. Sick puppies over there. But now, my friends, let us hear from you. and let's see what you have to say about it. A quick reminder. So what I'm going to do, and when we're done here, I have this interview that we did with Mike Volz on the Lodge. And so we're going to publish this as soon as we're done with this stream here. If you want to watch something a little bit different, my friend Mike Volz and I had a great talk about food sovereignty. And so come on back here, a little different than our normal fare, but just wanted to flag that for you before you head on out of here. But now, my friends, it's time to hear from you. And so let's see what you have to say about all of this from our friends. We got some great comments and some great donos. And let's see what is in the house. We've got some amazing friends in the house. What's up? BH Williams says, my chat here was so large, so I moved it to a comment to the left. So I won't be able to join today's show. Hopefully I'll catch it later. From BH Williams. Says, okay, the current line from even some solid conservatives is that the lethal force language in the raid is standard boilerplate. Presents two problems. One, not standard boilerplate, unannounced raid. This property had armed Secret Service protecting it and federal protecting his family, 100%. Coupled with the order to wear plain clothes, badges concealed, no FBI raid vests or jackets, meant there was the official possibility of blue-on-blue shooting. Yeah. Secret Service supposed to allow foreign unknowns to come in and raid the residence? Senior FBI officials leading the raid objected to the language but were overruled. According to a quote by Molly Hemingway, this only points to a rogue operation. In it, more for the optics than investigation. Two, if this is their standard, we use this everywhere language, I object to the language. They've made a point of high visibility early morning SWAT raids to arrest non-violent J6ers and pro-lifers. If they want someone to shoot back, again, for the optics and not, it's like they want someone to shoot back. Yeah. Again, not for the optics, not for the investigation or the furtherance of justice. When they can't do that, they go for high visibility airport arrest for the optics. Again, the DOJ and the FBI are completely rogue and weaponized. Great comment, BH. Yeah, I agree completely. They would have loved it if some guns would have gone off there. Are you kidding me? Then they could have added some more crimes. What's up, Glocky says, so they were authorized to use deadly force when they served warrants at Biden's house for his classified documents? Apparently not. They didn't go raid Hunter's room, did they? We've got this one from Glocky says, toasting instructions. Pop-Tarts, toasting instructions. AOC is having an existential crisis. Pop-Tarts, how do they work? Hey, Lenny Malley, what's up? Hey, hit the like button. Thank you, Lenny, for reminding everybody. Please like, share and subscribe. Share on all social media platforms. God bless you all. God bless you back, Lenny. Thanks for the reminder. We've got this one from Sheila. Hey, new membos coming in. What's up? Meemaw's here. Nicholson's coming in. Rick A, Samantha H, Andy F, the cooler guys here. We've got Deborah Y, Jonah D, Johnny D, Jeff P, all gifted membos courtesy of Sheila P, bringing in the newest of membos. Thank you, Sheila. Hey, Terry. Hey, Trey A. What's up, Trey? Thanks for being a membo, my man, and for the very nice dono. No comment on it, but I'm grateful you're here. Thanks for sending that one in. Igor, what's up? Igor V says, hi, Robert. Just posted my first video. Heck yeah. Everybody should be on YouTube. Can I get a shout out? Heck yeah. Igor Vocu. Check out the channel. Haven't seen it yet. Says, I was born in Ukraine, but have an America First view and don't want our tax money and men dying in foreign wars. My perspective in the video. Sounds great. Yeah, it sounds great. Sounds like a great video. Thanks for your awesome perspective. I appreciate that. And thanks for sharing that. It sounds like a spicy one. What's up? Good to see you. That sounds great. Igor Vocu. Check that one out. We got Spud says, it was a consent search. There was no need for use of deadly force. Well, it actually wasn't a consent search. They executed a search warrant. They didn't go through it. They recommended a consent search and then nobody did it. Knox is here, says, this deadly force thing is the most disturbing to me. Knox is a defense attorney in Texas, says, they would eliminate guests, staff, and a former president over paperwork. Wrap our community head around that. You can't. Yeah, and it's not like there's a long history of Trump engaging in some really egregious misconduct or something. He was the duly elected president of the country like 12 months ago, from the time that they started this whole process. So it's insane. They just went from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, and they did it with one interest in mind. Honestly, to take him out. If there could have been, he wasn't there at the time, but if there could have been some other problem They would have been very happy with that. Knox says, when lots of law enforcement show up at my clients' homes, they're at least looking for dangerous people who all carry guns. Well, Trump carries MAGA energy, much more dangerous. What's up? Nelson says, H1N1 has something. What an amazing coincidence that it all starts popping back up during the election. Yeah, I know. It feels really wild. The timing on this is very bad, isn't it, Nelson? Thanks for the good comment, my man. We got this one from Tyler. What's up, Tyler? Says, messed up my posting, but my question was this. Did the FBI have guns or deadly force authorized when they raided Brandon's Delaware home looking for top secret documents? No. Well, we don't know. They didn't raid his house. They didn't execute a search warrant. They didn't presumably go around and take warrants or take photos and make evidence logs and dump files out on the floor and change cover sheets and all that stuff. Good to see you, Tyler. Thanks for the dono, my man. Sheila P says they did not need to do a raid. They were there before they were let in. You don't need a raid when he is cooperating. Well, they needed some way to charge him, so they had to manufacture it. And they did. Thank you, Sheila. Doug M. Rob, are you angry? Because I sure am. I was boiling today. I don't know if you could tell, but I was not happy. What? Because it's just, it makes me sick. Even when I'd be representing my clients, this type of crap would happen all the time. And it would be like good-looking girls who would have weird stuff happen to them from disgusting cops. It's sick. MAGA hat, what's up? Could the FBI be snapping photos so an assassin could come later? I was going to say it. So you basically read my mind. There was a time in the show where it's like, are they trying? And then I didn't want to say it, but you just said it. So yeah, that's what. Is this a recon mission? Is what I was thinking. Are they reconning the interior of Mar-a-Lago now and selling that to someone or being involved in leaking that to some other entity, foreign entity, domestic entity? CIA needed some new photos, so they just asked the FBI to go in there. Reconnaissance mission. Gosh. Hey, what's up, Rob on Rumble says, the rated material doesn't matter now, according to the amicus brief. The warrant they sealed from us was invalid. They didn't. Ike's AMDTs. The items are taken now are fruit of the forbidden tree. Well, I don't think we're quite that far yet. I think that's where they're taking this argument, but I haven't. There's no rulings on that quite yet. Rob says, did they take pictures of her undergarments, each one at a time? I don't know. We don't know. A lot of photos were taken. Maybe they did. Knox says, and think about this, my fellow defense lawyers. When have you ever seen law enforcement sort through evidence at the scene? Normal procedure would be to transport all boxes unopened, thereby not tainting the crime scene and the chain of custody. Yeah, and the fact that they're turning cameras off and they are admitting now that there's stuff missing from the boxes with cover sheets, and they were manipulating the evidence on the scene, dumping stuff out on the floor, taking photos of it, as we saw in the scene. Boxes were being manipulated in transport. The evidence is totally tainted from top to bottom. I mean, if this were a DoorDash delivery, if they handled your DoorDash like this, you wouldn't want to eat it. You'd be like, how many fingers were in this? Who touched this before it got here? But this is evidence in America's court of law now. What's up? Rob says, it doesn't matter what is there, whether there was anything Trump took or something they planted. Anything there is fruit of the poisonous tree. It's a good argument. Magna Defender says, journalists on Twitter say the thing's not over yet. Normal people say, oh, really? You've been scaring us for 4 years now. And then, of course, the journos are saying, trust me, bro. Well, we try to not listen to the journos on most things. What's up, Magna? Good to see you. Thanks for the dono. NY says, they took Trump's passport, by the way. Says, when the names of the agents are released, I'll be satisfied. There's no legal right to anonymity in law breaking. Well, I've also said the same thing. It's like, when you're practicing as a defense attorney, if you do a bad job for a client, they go onto your website, leave a bad review for you, and you have to deal with that. Like defense attorneys are, unless you're a public defender, in which case you don't have that sort of market feedback, that information from being in the market. But if you're a prosecutor, you can just wreck people's civil rights your whole life, and there's really no accountability for that. There's no recourse. You just kind of get promotions at your job. What's up? Knox says, OMG, the worst search warrant ever. And undercover law enforcement, what a nightmare. Yeah, going in to raid the president's residence. Undercover FBI agents. The Troublecast, what's up, says, hey, Rob, hope to see you on Off-Label podcast soon. Man, I hope to see me there too. That sounds like an awesome time. Good to see you, the Troublecast. Thanks for sending that in. Good to see you, Glenn Croy. And I know, Glenn, I think you're going over there, right? I think Glenn Croy is going over there. Off-Label Podcast, doing some good stuff with Glenn Croy. And I think the Lectern guy. What's up? DJ says, I heard that they took his passport and his medical records. Yeah, I think NY was confirming that for us as well, DJ. Thank you for the clarity there. NY says, Jack Smith, for going to D.C. to pierce the attorney-client privilege, should lose his law license for venue shopping. Well, I don't know. Does Jack Smith even have authority at all in the first place? We're still debating that. But I think Judge Cannon might have a real big problem with that. She's asking for info on that, and I think we'll get some rulings related. What's up? Felix says, this should lead SCOTUS to rule in favor of presidential immunity, if not to avoid possible shootouts between Secret Service details and the FBI. Yes, I agree. I mean, it could have been closer to that. Maybe they were wanting that to happen. NY says, Comer is a criminal who leaked info to the press. You mean Comer or Comey? Probably Comey. James Comer. Like, what happened to James Comer? What'd he do? Good to see you, NY. Felix says Comey is the poster boy of deep state corruption. What's up, Felix? We got Crash says, that raid was straight up a poke in the eye, pure and simple. I don't give a damn about the optics. It was a poke in the eye. It was kind of a humiliation ritual. They want to humiliate you. It's intentional. That's why they go take pictures of your wife and kids' bedrooms. You see how that is? It's sick. Felix, Comey's the poster boy. Crash in the house. We got Tam G says, your point about their hope that lethal force could be used is strengthened by the fact that the feds were instructed to dress in plain clothes. They were hoping that Secret Service would mistake them for intruders, and then they could start shooting and saying Trump tried to shoot FBI agents. He's trying to insurrect again. A lawful warrant. I'm not doubtful for a second they would have loved that. James M. Biden DOJ challenging SCOTUS on immunity. Question, what if POTUS orders the assassination of a political rival? So if SCOTUS comes back with immunity, this could be what Biden wanted, a green light to take him out. That would be a whole different can of worms, right? Then you have questions about whether they would execute that order, whether that's a lawful order. Is executing a political opponent within the official perimeter, the outer perimeter of your official duties as president? Maybe, maybe not. But you'd have to go through an analysis on that depending on what the threat was. You could, honestly, you could imagine a situation like Jack Bauer in 24, where they're at 2 seconds, someone's going to execute someone else. Take him out. Beep, beep, beep. You know that show? What's up? John Libby says, used up film photographing Melania's panty drawers, but there's no footage like video of the agents that actually searched the boxes. So doesn't this give deniability of what documents they say are in all these boxes? From John Libby. It's a great question, John. Yeah. That's what we're asking. It's literally like a delivery order. If you order a pizza, you want the pizza to be sealed at the restaurant and come to you without being opened. That way you know that it's safe to eat, right? It was safely maneuvered, created, boxed, and delivered. So if you are opening it and shuffling the pieces of pizza around, and you get the box of pizza and the slices are all shifted around, you have questions about that. You say, I don't know. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be here. So someone manipulated it. Well, maybe it's just the same pizza, but the slices are different. And you say, well, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell it's not how they were. So I don't trust it. You might have a bunch of questions about that. It's the same thing. And we don't know how they got that way. If you say, well, the pizza just moved around because of road traffic, you say, okay, that's not a big deal. And maybe you can clarify that variability, that problem. But when it's agents moving boxes around, shifting documents, inserting placeholders, pulling documents out, creating an inventory, and the placeholders don't match the inventory anymore, now you got some real big problems. You not only have pizza slices that are shifting around, you've got some dookie in your pizza box. You're going, wow, that's a big problem. Or you're missing slices. It's not good. It's a big problem. So thanks, John. Great question. Maybe a bad example. What's up, Bradford says. Salty old guys coming in. Sean A's in here. Enjoy the show is here. We got Miss Constitutional Rights is here. Holly P. All gifted membos courtesy of Bradford in the house. Thank you, Bradford, for bringing in 5 new membos and for being a membo yourself. We appreciate that. We got Knox says, I bet all of Nathan Wade's clients on death row thank him. You think he's representing any death row inmates? I don't think so. But it's a funny joke nonetheless. That's pretty funny. Yeah. They're like, whoo, I'm not going to die. Ineffective assistance of counsel. Nathan Wade, I'm going free. All right. What's up? NY's here. Both Fani and Wade committed perjury. Also, she was charging the condo's rent to Fulton County. Yes, they lied to the judge and committed other, I would say, falsification of business records. She made lies on her disclosure forms, submitted fraudulent documents back to the governing boards that verified those things. So she says they signed false documents to be alternate electors. She signed false documents about her relationship with Wade. Rob says, does Garland have immunity from prosecution after he's out of office and Trump has his own FBI and DOJ set up? No one's above the law, not even the director of the FBI and the DOJ. No, against prosecution? No, I wouldn't say he has any immunity. I mean, he might have qualified immunity if you tried to charge him for something related to his official conduct. But if you make the determination that he was involved in a conspiracy to prosecute or to deprive other people of rights, I'm sure you could come up with a new basis for crimes. I mean, they've done it themselves. Salty Sarge is here. Says, you can tell that Tish, Fani, and Bragg are all Democrats because they've got huge donkeys following them no matter where they go. Hey-yo, spicy one from Salty. Sheila says, I really want to know how they can proceed with this case when it has been proven that the vote counts were wrong, from Sheila P. What's up, Sheila? Yeah, Muffin Rando shouting out Sheila. Very generous. Thank you, Sheila. Good comment. Michelle P says, Rob, is there a legal timeline outgoing presidents have to get material to NARA? Many other presidents have 2+ years to go through all their stuff. Yeah, there's debate about that. I think that you're right. It has taken a long time. And we covered that in some motion some time ago. I forget what it was, but I think Trump's team did draw a timeline at one point saying that it's a regular process. There's negotiations that take place. There's a back and forth. It's just a natural order of things. Trump was in the middle of it. He invited them down here. Hey, come take a look. Here's the skiff. Here's what the cameras look like. Have some lemonade. Cowboy Rob says, I'm pretty sure Trump does carry a gun. Lauren says he does. A J-frame Smith & Wesson 38 special. Is that right? No, I didn't know that. That sounds good. I like him better. What's up, Nitty Linny? Recon? No. Tish needed photos for Zillow. Oh, that's brutal. Nitty Linny. So Godzilla Tish is going to take her shoes off and start eating more buildings. She's going to Godzilla around New York. Tish. Gosh, Trump Tower. She's going down to Mar-a-Lago. She needs some photos for it as well. What's up, Cowboy Rob? Wonder if Joe got anything that he can sniff out of that search. You know, like a pair. Gosh. What's up, Cowboy Rob? This old guy says, I'm so tired of the lawfare and overreach. I'm now in the shut this government down camp. It's a good camp to be in. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's do it. Peacefully, politically, they can just dissolve into the ether. We don't need them. Milo Phone Bill says, we need a memory erased to unsee. Fanny's smell of mendacity and the Mar-a-Lago raid. Yes, this is Will Smith with, what's that called? The neuralizer, right? We need a memory erased to unsee. Cowboy Rob says, if you could magically change things, what would you change about the judicial system as far as oversight with prosecutors and judges? Well, that's a great question. I'd have to think about that one hard. I'm not sure that the democratic process is so good anymore. So I might consider removing the election of judges, the election of DAs. I don't know exactly how you'd restructure that, but I think that the politicization of the positions has resulted in some serious problems, which is what we're seeing now. It's pretty bad. Once politics has infested it to the degree that it has now, we might not be able to reverse it. I don't know that there's anything magical now. It's a cultural problem. It's a political problem. It's an institutional problem. It's a big problem. it's kind of a question about Western society. You'd have to kind of solve Western society again. I don't know, something to reinvigorate love of the Constitution, maybe. Maybe I'd unring if I could just magically kind of, take our government down, dramatically reduce our government in size and scope. I think that would solve a lot of things. Starve the beast, so to speak. Take away their power and let local institutions govern a lot of these things. It's a great question. I'll have to think about it. It's a good one. What's up? PNW Farm Dog says, what about the FBI not wearing identifying gear? Seems like they might have wanted to instigate something. Who are these random people coming and raiding this location? It's a great point. We got this one from Charlie Wolf Reed says, Willis said no one is above the law. Lock them up. Yeah, if they can charge people, why not reverse it the other way? Charge them back. They started it. They broke the seal. Here we are. Two can play at that game. Now, let's take a look. Thank you for those amazing donos, my friends. Very generous. As always, incredibly insightful comments. The best. We have our friends on X we can say hello to. See who is joining us over there. We got Fred Pedamonte. What's going on? Raven Madness. We've got Michelle F. says, Rob, they're all freaking out because they know that they're going to be charged with treason. Let's hope that this is a fact that happens to these people, that there are repercussions for their own criminalities. Yeah, John says maybe it was an assassination attempt. Raven Madness is in the house. Rob's over there. CF Rob Salty Sarge says, Rob, remember the Raiders were from D.C., not from the Miami field office. Christina says, if they're willing to do this to a president, they don't give a hoot about the powerless citizens. All the photos taken in First Lady's room and youngest son were part of something nefarious. You think it's harmless, but in the age of electronic warfare, I don't. They've already proven themselves to be operating outside the law. I can't believe that the DA in Fulton County can't get the criminals she claims are after her. Yeah, right. How can she prosecute criminals and keep citizens safe if she can't do it herself? She has all the resources. From Christina Hilton. Great comment, Christina. And thanks for dropping that one. Yeah, I think that's a great comment. We got Zeta says, arrest the criminals. James Pepper's in the house. Fred Pedamonte says, yeah, the first segment made me physically sick to my stomach. Hey, welcome aboard, Fred. That means it was a great success. I was definitely definitely trying to make it feel as real as it is, because it is disgusting. It should make you sick. It does. Me too. James Pepper, what's up? Judge needs to see the photographs. I bet they have FBI agents posing with the underwear. Yeah, we need to know who these creeps are. It would be nice if we could have some accountability for them. There's accountability for everybody else. Everybody else's name gets splayed all over the place, except the prosecutors and the law enforcement agents who hide behind their redacted filings and then still work undercover. What's up, Jake Miller? Says 9 months and I only get 50 words. Hope you carried this thing. What's up, Jake Miller? Hey man, times are tough, it's all the words we got. I think that's a YouTube limitation. So that's a good point. 9 months. You get 50 characters for 9 months. Isn't that nice? Good to see you, Jake. I carry this thing for 9 months and all I get is 50 words. You're welcome. What's going on? Good to see you, Jake. Thanks for sending that one in. We had a couple others. Hey, Freya D says, been wanting to catch you on live for some time now. What's up, Freya? Thanks for saying that. I'm glad you were able to make it. And today was a pretty interesting one. We had a very spicy first segment. So glad you were able to make it. Thanks for supporting us on the day. And Rocky says, missed a lot of lives this week. Just wanted to say great stuff as always, Rob. Appreciated. You said, maybe a bad analogy, but I dig on the food delivery analogy. If I opened a pizza box and I saw pieces all neat looking, but moved around to different order, like none of the sliced toppings line up, I'd be frozen with incredulity and perhaps some inklings of fear for at least a minute. Yeah, it would be weird. Then if you have pepperonis that were just misaligned, like this. You guys seen this trick before? Watch this. Oh, wow. Okay. Like that, they were misaligned, I agree. I think it would be a big problem. I'd have a big concern with that pizza. I'm not sure I'd eat it. All right. So, my friends, that is it for us on the day. Let us leave it there. We are going over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Before we wrap it up, I want to remind you we got our PDFs that we post on our website, robertgovea.com, and that will be posted. PDFs will be posted very soon. We also have watcherlodge.com, which is where we do our Sovereignty Saturday shows. And we'll be back at Watcher Lodge this Saturday for our Sovereignty Saturday. We'd love to have you join us over there. We also have locals, which is where we're happening now. This is happening now. And what I'm going to do is release this video here shortly. So I will publish a premiere. So Mike Volz is a friend of mine, and I'm going to be seeing him tomorrow. He's starting a YouTube channel. And so I'm going to post a video. We had a conversation some time ago with our lodge about food sovereignty. And so it was a great interview. I would love it if you like the conversation and if you like his type of content and you want to subscribe to another great YouTube channel, to check out his channel. I'm going to release this interview. And if it's good stuff, go on over there, give him a subscribe. I think it's great content. I think it's important work that he's doing, talking about sovereignty in multiple areas. So we want to give him a little bit of love. And so we'll post that video. If you're interested in checking it out, we'd love that. If not, we'll be back to the usual fare. We'll get all the segments from today posted up, and then those will be out shortly. But we'll post this, so come back, check it out. If you're interested in a little bit more, we'll post that in about 20 minutes or so. Of course, back on the lodge here. My friends, before we wrap it up, we want to say thank you to our mods and our meme smiths. K Bean in the house, Just Cause. We got Playin' Hooky, Ronnie Cole, our friend Zach Nichols, Janek909, Dog Diggers in the house, Economy Pilot, Donut Mind Me, Carrie B, Zulu's here. We have our meme smiths, Sleepy Dog Lee, Nathan N810, Geegum Geegum in the house, Glocky McGlock, Elliot is here, our Doc Master. And so that, my friends, is it for us on the day. We are going to leave it there. We are heading on over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com. And so I hope you join us over there. But if not, we are going to be back here tomorrow, and a show note, programming note. The time is TBD. I've got an event tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. And so we'll have probably a later show tomorrow and Friday. Schedule will be revealed. So make sure you hit that notification bell. I'll get it scheduled as soon as I have a time set in stone. Kind of depends on how the event goes, but we've got a busy summer, a lot of events coming up. I'm pretty excited about it. I'll be sharing more about what we're doing and what I'm learning from them, but that's the schedule for tomorrow. And so we do hope to see you right back here so that together, with your help, we can shine that big, beautiful spotlight of accountability and transparency down upon our system with the hope of finding justice. Make it a beautiful night, my friends. Sleep very well. See you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.